Hi everybody, it's Tyler. For my demonstration speech, I decided to pick the topic and teach you guys how to play the bass guitar, or bass as most people call it. I'm going to be going over what a bass guitar is, the parts of it, its role in music, how to hold it, how to properly play it using your fingers, and I'm also going to be going over a little bit of music theory just to get you started on playing the bass. Alright, so the bass in most music genres is a very integral part of a song. You may not realize it, but if you listen closely, it's a really important part. What it does is it works along with the drums to keep the backbeat of the song, the rhythm, keeps the rhythm going. Alright? And the bass, unlike the guitar, is at a very low sounding frequency. Bass frequencies. It's very low. Alright? So you don't want to be paying attention really to what the guitarist is doing, what the vocalist is doing, or what the keyboardist is doing. Most of the time you're going to be paying attention to the drummer, and you're going to be using these notes to accent the beats that the drummer makes. Okay? So the parts of a bass, this right here is the neck, this whole thing. These little divisions here are called frets. Alright? This is the headstock, along with the tuning pegs. It helps tune these strings. And this big part here is the body. The body includes the bridge, the tuners, the volume knobs right here, the input for the cable, and pickups. Alright? So when you're playing the bass, the frets make a different note. Each fret you hit makes a different note. And those notes, those frequencies, go up the neck to the body, and the sound is picked up through these things, which are called pickups, like I said. They go through a cable to an amplifier, and from there you can control the volume and the tone that comes out of it. Alright, so let's talk about how to properly hold the bass. I'm just going to fix the camera real quick. When you're holding the bass, you want the strap to be over your shoulder and behind your back. And you want it to be at a level that's comfortable for you. You don't want it to be too low, because if it's too low, you won't be able to hit these notes up here. You want your fingers to be able to reach all of the frets and all of the notes on the neck. So you don't want it too low, but you also don't want it up too high, because that can really mess up your shoulders and your back, and that kills. Trust me, you don't want to be doing that for a 4-hour set. Alright. So let's go over how to play it and what you do with your fingers. So, for this hand, for your fretting hand, you want your wrist bent at about a 90-degree angle, and you want all 4 of your fingers, even the pinky, to be spread out. Now when you're first starting, you're more inclined to do something more comfortable, which is tuck your pinky in and only use these 3 fingers. But that's very limiting when it comes to speed and when it comes to hitting certain notes that are further away. So you want your wrist bent at 90 degrees, and you want all 4 fingers to be able to hit 4 notes. Alright? And a good way to practice is by just doing 4 notes in a row on one string. Over and over. So that's this hand. When it comes to your playing hand, most of the time you want to use these 2 fingers in a back and forth motion to pluck the strings. Now a lot of people like to use a pick, and that's fine, but I just think this looks a lot better. So again, you want your wrist bent at a 90-degree angle, and you want your thumb to rest on something so that your hand doesn't go all over the place. So on the top string here, you want your thumb to rest on the pickup so you can properly do that motion. And as you move down, your thumb is going to rest on the string above the one that you're playing. So if you're playing the second string here, your thumb is going to rest here to be able to mute it so you don't accidentally pluck that string and make a noise that you don't want to make. Just like this. So this string is muted, and I'm playing the second one here. Alright. Doing these motions aren't going to feel comfortable at first. They're going to feel very unnatural. But as you keep playing and as you keep practicing, you'll realize that using your pinky and using these two fingers really opens up a whole new world of playing the bass. You can hit more notes, you can hit higher notes, lower notes, much easier than if you do it the cheating way, the easy way. Alright, so let's talk about a little bit of music theory to get you started. First off, I want to tell you about standard tuning. So these 4 strings are tuned to certain notes. This fat one here is an E, then it goes A, D, and G. And I'm sorry I don't have an amplifier with me right now, I just have the bass, so you can't really hear it all that well, but you're going to have to take my word for it. Alright, so those are the notes of the strings. Now let's talk about what a key is. Now a key is just a group of notes that you put together to sound good. It's a group of notes you can put together to make a song. And it consists of 7 notes. And what you do is take the first 7 letters of the alphabet and you go from there. So A to G, anywhere in between, you can have a key. You don't have to start from A, but you can have a key of A, a key of B, a key of C, D, E, F, or G. But you can also have a key anywhere in between those. And there are notes in between them. And those notes are called sharps and flats. Let's take the note of D, for example. This is a D right here. And a sharp of a D is just 1 fret up from it. So that is a D sharp. And if you want a D flat, it's 1 note down from it. That's a D flat. And this works for most of the notes in a key. However, there are 2 exceptions when it comes to sharps and flats that you want to know about. And those 2 are B and E. Now there's a lot of complicated theory to go along with this. You can look it up on YouTube, but just take my word for it again. A B and an E do not have sharps. They have flats, but they don't have sharps. So a B, for example, this is a B. If you try to do a B sharp, it's just a C. So there is no such thing as a B sharp. You go right from B to a C. And same with E. You go right from E to an F. Now this means also that those notes that you go to right after these notes don't have flats, because flats come before it. So an F flat is just an E. And a C flat is just a B. You don't call it a C flat. It's just a B. Alright, so those are sharps and flats. Now let's talk about octaves. When you go all the way through your key, let's start with A, for example. When you go all the way to G, what comes after it? Well, not an H. What comes after that is just another A. You start all over. But this time, it's going to be at a higher frequency. So this is an A. If you go B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way back to A, it's that higher note. And it's called an octave because it's the 8th note of the key, after the key, right? Okay, guys, so hopefully I taught you enough to get you started. It really takes some practice to be able to get good at this. Go slow at first, for sure. But if you are picking up an instrument, and I do highly recommend you pick up an instrument because it's super rewarding, okay? If you do pick up an instrument, if you buy one, you can buy a cheap one on Amazon. It doesn't have to be a professional model just to get you started. You can go on YouTube like I did. And YouTube has thousands of tutorials on how to play, on how to hold, proper finger techniques, and especially music theory, because that really helps you expand your knowledge of instrument playing. Alright guys, so if you have any questions, you can always email me. It's just nolanty@student.johnson.edu. And until next time, hope you have a good day.